Hi everyone, welcome to the Coding Zoo. This is the 9th lesson at the Coding Zoo. In this lesson, we're going to add a footer to our web page. We're going to color that footer, add a little text to that footer, and we're also going to make it to where it sticks at the bottom of your web page. So no matter whether you make the browser large or small, no matter what you put in the browser, it's going to stay at the bottom. So we'll do that. We're also going to add a little color to the body of your page. So you'll have some color behind all your text and stuff, make it look nice and pretty. We're very close to our 10th lesson, which is the lesson where we'll actually take the web page and you can upload it to the Coding Zoo. That's if you want to. So it's not required, but if you want to, you can actually send us your page after the 10th lesson and we'll put it out on the web for your friends and family to see. If it's not your first time at the Coding Zoo and you haven't subscribed already, I think if you press down there, or maybe it's there, which is it, Nicholas, do you know? I get it mixed up, but somewhere there's a button right there that says subscribe. Please go ahead and subscribe. It lets us know that you're watching and it helps promote the Coding Zoo. So we really appreciate that. Don't forget to click the like button and click on the bell if you'd like to have notifications also. So, hey, are you ready to get started, Nicholas?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Hey everyone, welcome to the Coding Zoo. This is Shane and I have my son Nicholas with me.
Hello.
And I also have my daughter Jai with me.
Hi.
You guys ready to get started?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. So let's go ahead. Double click on your Coding Zoo folder. In the last lesson we installed Notepad++. Feel free to use whatever editor you would like. I'm going to right click on my index.html file. I'm going to click Edit with Notepad++, bring that up, and now I have my index.html file open in Notepad++. Okay, so we have a new tag in HTML5. So one of the new tags we've learned already for HTML5 was header. You guys remember that?
Yes.
The top of your document. Another one was main. And these tags are often used in place of div. You can use div instead of these tags if you want. Let's go ahead and add this new tag. Go to the very bottom of your document, right beneath main. I'm putting my cursor to the right side of main, press enter. I'm going to add a new tag, and it's called footer. So less than sign, F-O-O-T-E-R, greater than sign, press enter twice. Less than sign, / F-O-O-T-E-R, greater than sign, and I have a tag called footer. Okay, so inside that tag called footer, on the line in between the beginning and end tag of the element footer, I'm going to put my cursor there. I'm going to tab out, and I'm going to type in uppercase C, and I'm going to put created by. So C-R-E-A-T-E-D space B-Y colon space Shane S-H-A-N-E space C-R-O-U-C-H. Now this is your footer. Usually you want to put, you can put help links, or you can put, your signature, you put your copyright information. I'm gonna put created by colon Shane Crouch. Feel free to type whatever you'd like. It's up to you. I'm going to choose File and Save. And let's go ahead and right click on our document, choose Open with Google Chrome or whatever browser you have. Awesome. So we have our page. It's got our picture from last week. Got that nice banner at the top. We scroll down to the bottom here. I've got the words created by Shane Crouch. So my footer's down there surrounding the text created by Shane Crouch. But you can't see my footer, right? Unlike the header, which has been styled, my footer hasn't been styled yet.
Do you see the text on yours, guys?
Yes. Yes.
Is it at the bottom of your page?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Okay, so my text is at the bottom of my page. I think my children's text is actually to the side. So there's one difference in my page and theirs. I have this third section here called favorite drinks, and did that in a previous lesson. I think I had everybody watch and didn't actually ask you to create that section. So there's a little difference in my code and your code. Here's how we fix that. Let's go ahead and fix that so that your text is at the bottom and not on the side if it's on the side. So if your text is at the bottom like mine, you don't have to do this. If it's on the side, then you'll need to do this. So let's go back to Notepad++. So let's style that footer. So where do we put styles at, guys? What did we learn last week to put styles at? What tag surrounds those styles?
I don't know, style.
Huh?
I don't know, style.
Style. That's right. So all of our styles are in the style section of our head of the HTML document. So all of these styles we are putting in the style section, which is in the head section of our HTML document. We've gone away from inline styles. We started putting them in the style section of the head. All right, so let's go up to that section. Go to the bottom of that section. Let's just type a new line. Okay. So last lesson we learned that you could do two types of CSS here. You could do a class selector, which is where you define a class like .title.title-pic, or you could do an HTML element selector. So we have an HTML element called footer. So we're going to create an element selector. So type in footer, F-O-O-T-E-R, space, our little squiggly line. Make sure it's beginning and ending squiggly line. Press enter a couple of times. Put your cursor in the middle of those two squiggly lines. And I want you to type in clear, C-L-E-A-R, colon, space, B-O-T-H, and semicolon. And choose File and Save. Or if you want, click on, if you're using Notepad++, click the little disk icon. Once you have it saved, go back and click Refresh. Okay, how's it look, guys? Did your text move to the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Weishan? So is your text at the bottom now, buddy?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so just a quick explanation of what we did here, right? So we had these sections. We had our favorite anime section, our favorite book series section, and we towed those sections with styles. We towed them to float, right? So what was happening is your footer was floating also, or those things were floating around your footer. So what we needed to do was say, hey, footer, I don't want anything floating on the left or right of myself. So we had to tell the footer, don't let anything, or tell the document, we had to tell the document, don't allow anything to float on the left or right. So if your text was even with the other sections on the same lines, then that means your sections were floating to the left of your footer text. So by adding clear both as a style to footer, it tells the HTML document don't float, or don't allow any, it tells the HTML document don't allow anything to float to the left. So at that point, your text went to the bottom of the page. Does that kind of make sense, guys?
Yes.
So it basically canceled the float, right? The float we used on what? The previous sections. Yeah? Got it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, next, let's go ahead and let's make that footer have some color. So go to your style section. Inside the footer element selector, or footer class, CSS class, go to the line below clear. Okay, once you're there, go ahead and type in background, BACKGROUND, color -COLOR, colon, space, and I'm going to do mine black. I recommend that you make it the same color that you made your header in the last lesson. So if you made your header blue in the last lesson, it probably makes sense to make your footer blue here. Mine was black, so I'm going to make mine black. Choose save. Go back to your browser and refresh. And now I can see my footer. Okay, so now our footer has color, but if yours is like mine, I've got a black footer and I've got a black text in my footer, and I can't actually see the text anymore. So let's go ahead and fix that. So go back to your footer section. I'm going to add a new line underneath background color, and I'm going to type in color, COLOR, colon. Remember, it's name, colon, and then the value, and I'm going to type in yellow, YELLOW, semicolon. Now, I forgot to put a space between colon and yellow, so I'm going to color, colon, space, yellow. And now I'm going to choose save, and now I'm going to refresh. Awesome. So now I can see my text. Okay. So it's kind of scrunched up. There's not much space down there. My text is yellow, but in the black, it's surrounded by black, but there's not much space. So it kind of looks weird. I'm going to clean that up some. So I'm going to go back to my footer style class. I'm going to add a new line underneath color. I'm going to put some space around that. So what is that space called? Well, we learned that in our last lesson. The space is called padding. Padding. So I'm going to type in PADDING. And if you guys didn't remember that, be sure to check out our study notes and kind of memorize those things, right? I'll put that in our study notes.
So padding is the space inside of your element. For example, a block element. This is the space inside that might surround other elements inside of a block element or a section or a div.
So PADDING colon space. I'm going to put 5 and PX for pixel and semicolon. I'm going to choose save. Okay, going to click the refresh. And now I have padding around my text. So it's a little bit bigger. All right. So I'm going to add a little bit more padding. 5 is okay, but I like to have a little bit more space. So I'm going to change that 5 to like 8. And then save it. You put as much space as you would like. Refresh, and made a little bit more space. Still not quite there. I'm going to change it to 10. Change it to 10. Click save. Click refresh. And there we go. Got a little bit more space. Okay. How's y'all's look, guys?
Good. Yeah.
Good. You caught up? Caught up?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So we've changed our footer to be black. We've put some writing in our footer, and we've changed the font color to yellow. Awesome. All right, so the footer looks great. It's at the bottom, but I think there's one problem with this. If I blow up my window, or rather if I maximize my window, click on maximize here, boom, what do we have? Well, there's a lot of space underneath my footer, and I want my footer to be at the foot. I want it to be at the bottom. So let's go ahead and fix that. So I'm going to minimize my window here again, and we're going to add some special CSS to make that footers always stay at the bottom. Now, this CSS is somewhat advanced. I won't go into detail on all the properties. I'll give you some idea what they mean. But again, be sure to check out our CSS lessons. I'll cover in detail what all of these properties mean. So you'll learn more about how powerful CSS is there. Okay, so let's go to our body section. And let's add a new element. So I'm going to put an element around the header element and the main element. I'm going to put the element div. So go above the header element, space out, and type in div. Less than, div, okay, and greater than. So I put my start tag for this element div. I'm going to wrap the header and the main element. So I'm going to click the minus sign on header here in Notepad++, so I don't have to see it. I want to click the minus on main here in Notepad++, so I don't have to see the main tag. So now I see the tag div, header, and main. I'm going to go below the main section there, and I'm going to type the end tag for that div. So less than, /div, greater than. I'm going to highlight the main section and the header section, and once they're all highlighted, I'm going to press tab to kind of space those out a little bit. So now I have a div, which is a block element. We learned that a few lessons ago. I have a div around my header section and my main section. So my main section and my header section belong to this div. They're inside of this div. You guys caught up? Okay, so what we've done is we put a div around our header and our main section, and of course, as we learned in the previous lessons, div is a way of grouping things. So we basically just group the header and the main together. Why do we group things? Because we want to move them around, or we want to style them differently than the rest of the app. So let's go ahead and we're going to add a style to this div. So go to your first tag in the div element, so the beginning tag. Put your cursor on the right side of V, press space, and type in class. CLASS equals double quote, and let's call this style class that we're going to create, let's call it header, HEADER, dash, which is your minus sign, main, MAIN, dash, again, which is a minus sign, and then content, CONTENT, and then double quote. So we have the div. So we have div space class equals quote, double quote, header dash main dash content in double quote. Press save. And now I'm going to go to my style section. So now I'm going to go to my style section, and I'm going to add a new class. And since we're not using an element selector, we're using a class selector. I'm going to start this new section out underneath my footer section, footer class. I'm going to start it out with dot HEADER dash MAIN dash CONTENT. So dot header dash main dash content, and then squiggly lines. Press enter again. You caught up, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so we've added a new style class called dot header dash main dash content. We're going to add some properties to that class in a few minutes. Let's go ahead and add a couple of more element selectors. Let's first, so there's a few steps we're going to do to make this footer stay in place. First, we're going to set a height on the HTML and body. So let's add a element selector for those two things. So go to the top of your style section, above your header class, press return a couple of times, and let's add HTML, comma, body, BODY, space, squiggly lines, press enter again, go to the middle line there, tab out, press height, HEIGHT, colon, space, 100, 100%, percent sign, number 5.
And semicolon.
semicolon. That's right.
Oh no, I did that right.
So you should have HTML, comma, space, body, your squiggly lines, squiggly brackets rather. Inside of the squiggly brackets, you should have the word height, colon, space, 100%, semicolon. So that basically just sets the height of our body to 100% of your browser size. All right, let's add another property to a different element selector. Go down to your body selector, the one that just says body. And that one should have properties of margin and padding of 0 pixels. Go to that class and underneath padding, colon, 0 pixels, add a new line. So we want to basically tell our body that we want the display to use flex mode. So just type in the word display, DISPLAY, colon, space, and the value we want to use is flex, FLEX, semicolon. So this flex mode, basically it just tells your body to use a flex container. A flex container basically expands its child items to fill the available free space, or it shrinks them to prevent them from kind of overflowing. So I'm basically saying I want my body to use this flex mode. Next, let's add another property. Go down underneath that line, underneath display, colon, space, flex, semicolon, add a new line, type in flex, FLEX, the minus sign, a dash, flex dash direction, DIRECTION. And then colon and column, COLUMN, semicolon. So we basically have set the display to flex, and we're setting the flex direction to be column. So when you set the flex direction to column, it basically tells the flex container that the flexible items are displayed vertically as a column. Okay, so we've added a display flex to our body. We've set the flex direction to column. We have set our HTML body and height to 100%. Now let's go to that class selector we created earlier, which is called header-main-content. Let's add properties to that. So the properties we want to add there are, the first one is called flex. FLEX, colon, 1 space. So it's FLEX, colon, space, 1 space, 0 space, auto, AUTO, semicolon. Go ahead and save it. So again, we'll go into detail about what each of these mean in our CSS studies. Just a side note though, this flex property, the 1 is basically your flex grow. The 0 is your flex shrink. And the auto is the property for flex basis. So each of those numbers defines a property. So you have flex colon 1. 1 is the setting for your flex grow. 0 is the setting for your flex shrink. Auto is the setting for your flex basis. So flex grow is a sub-property of flex. It defines the ability for a flex item to grow if necessary. So your flex item can grow as necessary. So it allows things to grow like your body can grow. It is defining how your flex items will grow. If you set it to 1, every child will be equal in size to every other child in the flex container. If you were given one of the children a value of 2, that child would take up much more space. So you can actually, so we're giving this header main content the value of 1. If we were to put other classes in our flex container and gave it a value of 2, those other classes would make their elements grow larger than this 1. but no need to go in depth there. We'll cover that more in our CSS lessons. All right, so you have the flex grow, we have the flex shrink, flex basis specifies the initial size of the flex item. We're setting it to automatic. Okay, next. Okay, go ahead and click save, guys. Go ahead and save it. And now go back to your browser and click refresh. So you click refresh and you'll notice now that your footer is at the bottom. If you go ahead and minimize, maximize your browser window, move it around some, maybe shrink the width of it, just however you want to shape your browser, that footer should always stay at the bottom now. So CSS is pretty powerful. That's one example of how powerful it can be to just move things around and shape things. All right, we have one last property to set for our document. We've added our footer. Feel free to add like a date and created by, add more information in your footer. Feel free to add more information in your footer after the lesson's over. I would recommend to go ahead and put a date, something like that, put created by. Let's go ahead and change one more property. I have this black header and this black footer. The body is white, and it's just so bright to me. So I'm going to change how the body looks a little bit. I'm going to change the color of the background of the body. So go to your body tag. In your style section, go to your body class. So after flex direction, column, semicolon, press enter, add a new line. And I'm going to change the background color. So type in property background dash color, BACKGROUND dash color, COLOR, colon, and I'm not quite sure what color I want. And I don't want to just type in yellow or tan or red. I want it to be more precise, and there are tons of colors you can use. So I want us to check out this website. So let's open up your browser, another window, and let's go to this website. The website is HTML color, COLOR, codes, CODES.com. HTML color codes with an S.com. Press enter. And now I have this website up. And if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see different colors there, right? You'll see a little square. It has different shades of colors. It is a rainbow looking line or column on the right. So you can actually choose what type of color you're looking at. I'm going to kind of move it into the yellow band of colors there. And I'm going to take that little circle. I'm going to press my left mouse button and move that circle around. Holding my left mouse button down, I'm going to move that circle around until I get the color I want in that little square to the right. And this is going to be the color of your background of your body. So you don't want it to be too bright. If you make it too bright, people won't be able to look at your page and for very long. So you probably want to choose whatever color you choose. You probably want to choose like a light shade of it. So I've got this light shade here. So I'm going to use this color. I think that's a really good color. So that color has a number. If you look right here next to the pound sign, it has a number. So I'm going to cut and paste that number. F4, F5, F3. So I'm going to right click and choose copy. Now I'm going to go back to my Notepad++ and where it says background color. You know, before in the other previous lessons, we were typing in the name of a color, but you don't have to use the name. You can actually use a number that represents the color because there are a lot of different shades out there. So let's go ahead and type in that number or paste that number. I'm going to go ahead and paste it. So it's F4, F5, F3. Now, in front of the first F, I'm going to put the pound sign. So when you use a number, you have to start with pound. So I have background dash color colon pound, colon space pound F4, F5, F3, and I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to go to my browser, Going to click refresh, and boom, my color changed. All right. So now I have a different color in the background. So, feel free to play with the colors here. Find the exact colors you want. I mean, it's up to you on what color you want your header and your footer to be. It's up to you on what you want the color of your title to be. Feel free to, outside the lesson, feel free to play around and find those exact colors you want. Make it yours. Be creative. Doesn't have to be the exact colors of mine. It doesn't have to be the exact colors I'm using. The whole point of, learning HTML is that you can create stuff that's your own. You can make it your own. So I highly recommend that before the next lesson, take time and let's, make it your own. Choose whatever colors you like for the header, for the footer, for the body background. Make it look like something you want it to look like. Make it your own, basically. So I've got my colors all set. My body's a different color. I've got my footer. It stays in place. My banner looks great from the last lesson. So that's it, guys. We're going to cover a few more items in our next lesson. And at the end of our next lesson, you should be able to upload your first page of the Coding Zoo if that's something you want to do. And that way you can actually show it off to your friends and family. What do you think, guys?
Good.
Pretty cool?
Mm-hmm.
Looking pretty? Your page looking good? Are you guys going to play with it this week? Kind of make it your own? Make it the colors you want?
Sure.
Yeah? All right, cool. Did y'all have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? Half asleep still?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and update the study notes. Be sure to study the study notes. There's a lot of information being said in the videos. It's hard to remember everything. The study notes are out on the website, thecodingzoo.com. They're on the lessons page. They're right next to each lesson in PDF format. Download it, study those notes with your children. Make sure they understand the different names of the items we learn each lesson and what they mean. It will help them later on in upcoming lessons. So you want to be sure to study that in between lessons so you'll stay caught up in the upcoming lessons. You'll know what we're talking about in the future lessons. So again, be sure to study those things. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. We sure enjoyed it. We're learning a lot. If you have any input on how we can make this better for you, how we can help you learn quicker or faster, how we can help you enjoy it more, let us know. Leave us a comment below. Let us know if you enjoyed it. Hey, even leave us a comment. Let us know. We'd like to hear. Go ahead, and if you liked it, click that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. The more people that subscribe, the more we know we're helping people, and the more likely we're going to put out even more and more videos. Go ahead and click the bell icon below, and it will let you know when there's a new lesson out. So again, thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Say bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.